not Taylor Swift, I'm not, Tom Cruise. And she rubbed her hands together like that. I've got my Oyster card and I've got a cab if I need it.
This is a nice dark hotel. I'm in the mood now.
That's the way I like it.
Well, what I want to know is how do you prepare for a thriller like this compared to, your period drama, your comedies?
I'm a sucker for a murder mystery. I love murder mysteries. I met a woman in the street a couple of days ago, and she said, "What are you doing now? Are you doing?" I said, "Well, I've got this thing, Lazarus, coming out." She said, "What is it?" I said, "It's a murder mystery." She said, "Oh, great." She said, "What with autumn coming?" And she rubbed her hands together like that. She went, "What with autumn coming?" And you think, what's autumn got to do with? It's like that thing where they say cozy crime. You wonder what's cozy about murder, but obviously that's what it's become. Yeah. No, I love doing contemporary things more than period things. I love doing, I read genre novels. I'm a big fan of Harlan Coben. I've read all 16, I think, of his, there's a particular double act in his books that I've covered. And this was a great script. They were great scripts, and it was a no-brainer.
Yeah, I love Harlan Coben stuff. By the way, you talked about a lady on the street. I feel like I only ever see you on Instagram and X or Twitter, whatever. You seem to always be meeting people on the street. I love that.
Well, I don't own a car, and I love not owning a car. And I live in London. Why would I use a car? It's like I've got my Oyster card, and I've got a cab if I need it. And therefore, my biggest, I don't do much. What I do for pleasure is to walk, drink coffee and go to bookshops. And I like cafes more than probably anything else in human society. And if I can't do those things, then the game's up. Which means that the deal is I therefore meet, because I'm visible, I meet a lot of people. But it's cool, everybody's, there's no, I've never been, there's no heat attached to it. I'm not about to be mobbed at any point, you know what I mean? It's like, so it's kind of...
not quite Taylor Swift level, maybe.
Not Taylor Swift, I'm not, Tom Cruise. But it's just like, it's just that old bloke whose name they can nearly remember, but they can't pronounce, which is fine, and I have very nice meetings with people and everybody. The thing is now, everybody's got a camera all of the time. Didn't used to be like that. Now, the only thing that is ever irritating is when you turn around and people are doing it without having asked, then it's a slightly primal thing. You think, really, or you've got your mouth full or something,
Well, I want to go on to paranormal activity. At my wedding, the fire alarm went off, everyone had to be evacuated, and the window had been smashed, and the caretaker said it was a baby ghost. A child, because there used to be an orphanage. Do you like that kind of stuff? Because I felt really warm. I don't know why, I liked that.
You like that at your wedding?
Yeah, I just like the idea. There's kids running around.
I'm not against it. I don't dismiss it. I don't have any real feeling toward it. I haven't had any, as far as I know, I haven't had any paranormal experiences. I do think there's more to heaven and earth than meets the eye. I'm perfectly prepared to believe that there's parallel universes in which all kinds of stuff happens, but I have no information in that area. But and in terms of watching things and reading things, I love that kind of stuff. I read a lot of sci-fi, which is a term that some people object to. Literature of the imagination, might be the better term. And I read William Gibson, I read Neil Stevenson, I read a lot of that kind of, I would call high-end sci-fi. And so therefore I'm drawn to that kind of stuff.
So you love being the mysterious guy for this one?
I enjoyed this job, yeah. It was a great gig. And I liked everything about it. And Harlan, one of the great pleasures was meeting Harlan Coben, who I've read, most of his books. And he turned out to be a really, really charming, lovely man.
Did you turn up with your tote bag with all your books in it to get them signed? Or?
No, I don't. I don't actually collect books because I worked out that I recently moved and I had a place done up, a flat. I've got a flat and I had it all done up. And people presume, because I read all the time, that people presume that I'm going to have a book-lined room. I don't want a book-lined room. So I only keep books that are either signed or have some kind of sentimental value.
What's your best signed one then?
Well, I haven't got anything signed by anybody really. I've got, with David Hare I work with a great deal, and usually when there's a new book, he sends me a book and it's usually signed, and it's signed to me.
There you
but
go.
I haven't got anything, really. I have got a couple of things that have been given to me that are valuable. I have a first edition of Night and Day by Virginia Woolf, which must be... Oh, I also have a first edition of one of my favourite books, which is Parade's End by Ford Madox Ford, And I have a first edition of the first part of that. It's 4 books in one, and that's a serious piece of literature.
Wow. And there's me with my Spice Girls signed LP. I mean...
I also have, under glass, a Player's cigarette packet signed by all of the Rolling Stones when Brian Jones was alive, which cost quite a lot of money, and it's in a plastic perspex thing, so you can see it from both sides. And that's a serious piece of
wow.
memorabilia.
Amazing. It was great to hear that. Thank you very much indeed. And I might see you outside of Costa Coffee, who knows?
Oh yeah, wow.
Thanks, Bill.